the last question is, what is the longest bone in the femur?
Big L. Big L.
Femur.
She said it.
Hey, what's happening, guys? Welcome to the Apex podcast. Make sure you tap in. My name's Laura.
And it's Jemima.
And today I'm super excited because, again, we got two people in here. We have two guests by the name of
Florence
and
Jon.
Yeah. So we're just going to hop right into it. Into the Golden Nuggets.
So first up we have Flo. And we have we have 3 categories to choose from. Okay. And you have to get the majority out of the 5 questions correct. Okay. Otherwise, you have to do a forfeit that you've already, had a glimpse of earlier. So the 3 categories are: who am I, history, and variable F. Variable F is just questions that all begin with F. The answers all begin with F. And that's the only key you're going to get.
I think you should do history.
I'm going to try variable F because my name begins with F.
Okay. Right. Ready?
Yes.
Okay, so first question. From the Latin for brother, what name is given to the all-male society in a university?
It begins with F.
That's helpful. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to pass on that one.
Fraternity.
Oh.
Goodness sake.
Oh, that's easy, isn't it?
Which F is the right granted by a company to sell its goods in a particular area?
Franchise.
Yes.
Yeah. Come on.
Okay, one. Got one. One. Which city, the capital of Tuscany, was ruled by the Medici family from the Middle Ages and is known as Firenze in its native language?
Tuscany. No idea.
No idea. Florence, actually.
Oh my gosh! I was thinking, and I thought if she'd said Italy, then I would.
That's clever. That was hard.
The franchise, I was thinking, finance and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was clever. I'll give you that. That was good.
Okay. So, which Pacific island nation popular with tourists has a notably large population of people of Indian descent who arrived from the British Empire during the late 19th and earlier 18th centuries?
My mind just says Fiji.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. Nice.
Straight.
One more, One more. This is the deciding one,
Yes, you need this one.
Tiebreaker.
Yeah, literally. Deadlock.
The last question is, what is the longest bone in the femur?
Femur.
Big L. Big L.
Femur.
She said it.
Oh, dear.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's you in it. But we'll get them later. So it's Jon's turn.
Okay.
Cool. So again, we got 3 categories. At least 3 out of 5.
Okay.
If you flop, then if you don't.
What happens if I get all 5?
Oh, all 5?
Yeah.
Was he trying to change the rule? You just get nuggets. You just get nuggets.
You get golden nuggets.
Golden nuggets. There you go.
Okay, fair.
Okay, so the categories are guess the song, CBBC childhood TV shows, and variable J.
Definitely not songs, because I don't feel like you're going to pick songs that I know. CBBC. Yeah, is there a era?
Yeah, it's like late 90s, early noughties. To mid noughties.
Hopefully it's Tracy Beaker questions. No, I'll go variable J.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. First question is, what Indonesian island is also a programming language?
Java.
Yep. Okay. Which book of the Bible has the shortest name?
Shortest name?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, Job.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. What skin condition gets its name from the French word for yellow?
Oh, I know this one.
Mm.
No, I'm gonna pass. No.
Can I tell him?
Yeah.
Jaundice.
Yup. Jaundice.
No, that's right.
I don't know what that is.
They thought
Jaune,
Luke
yeah.
had it as well.
That's a skin condition.
Yeah, like your skin turns like yellow. I'm not really sure what causes it, but it's not really great. But
No,
yeah.
I've seen that on like Grey's Anatomy.
That's right.
All right. Okay, so you got 2 so far.
Yeah,
Cool. What is the name of the cowgirl in the Toy Story films?
Jessie.
Yeah.
These are
sweet.
easy
Got it.
questions.
He's
Yeah,
got
you
it.
got 3. You
Next
got
one,
3. There's no.
Can I do the next one?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. What is the
There is
Spanish
no
version of
movie.
John?
Huh?
What is the Spanish version of John?
Oh, for goodness sake.
I don't know.
Seriously?
What is it?
John?
No, it's Juan.
Oh, well,
Juan.
see, fair enough.
Yeah. All right. So it's.
Us doing it.
We're doing it. Oh, you guys think.
Yes,
John.
Lawrence, come on.
Do you know what? Yeah. Like last time I was like the vinegar isn't that bad, but it actually got my chest after a while. It did get my chest after a while though.
Is it worse than the Marmite?
No, definitely not. I don't think
She didn't even
I've
try
never
the
even had it.
Marmite.
I've never
She
even had it,
can't.
but yeah, I can't know that pain. But it's definitely not. Like I just know
Have you done vinegar yet?
No, I haven't.
Oh.
done
it's not as
yet.
bad. Trust me,
Today
it's
is
not
the
bad.
day.
Great.
Do you just have to down it?
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
And you got your lovely water to...
to sip on after.
They have ice.
All right,
Maybe
so
not.
White Hand's gonna
Oh.
give us the shots. Oh, vinegar. This is so peak.
Do you know, like in those old TV shows where you would only see people's hands, and
Yeah.
you never see their face?
Yeah.
That's like this guy, innit?
Well, like Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, you would never
Just-
see them.
just their feet, just their feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's literally what White Hand is.
I'm gonna pass in this over here.
Lovely. There you go, Jemima. Lovely stuff. Yes, and Black Hand's gonna pass me mine. Oh, this is. Oh.
Because of the lights there, it's only a black camera.
Literally. Alright. You ready, yeah?
Do cheers. Come on.
Chin chin. Nah, man. This,
3,
oh,
2,
the mother's in this as
1,
well. Oh.
go.
Ooh.
Oh dear.
It's not that bad. It's gonna attack your chest later though.
I think it's worse for Jemima.
It is better than Mama. I can't. The facial expression she was giving me when she first had them. How many times did you have it? Like 2 times.
That looked like quite a lot, actually, of vinegar.
Yeah, it's in my chest now. I can feel it
Oh.
spreading.
Rather you than me.
Like, why can't we at least have good water? Like, what's going on?
You've got some
It's probably gonna make it worse, you
warm
know.
water.
Yeah, cool. So we're gonna get to the nuggets.
The nuggets.
There you go.
Ooh, yes.
Champions.
Thank you.
Enjoy those.
Thank you.
I'm gonna live vicariously through you
True,
guys.
guys.
Tear came to my eye.
Thank you very much.
I don't know how I could finish one.
Do we get sauce? No,
Danny-
cool. That's fine.
Budget cuts.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can't even afford ice. Like.
Okay, so we're gonna get to know you guys a little bit more. So we've got a couple of questions for you guys. So yeah, just answer them. We just want to get to know you guys a little bit better. So first of all, what is your starter pack? So starter pack is basically a couple of things that probably like describe you. If someone was to open a box of things, they probably think of you. So what things would you put in that box?
Okay. Me or Florence?
Yeah.
You can start, John.
Alright, I'd go. Got to chuck a pair of glasses in there.
Signature.
Are you that blind?
What?
Are you blind?
Whoa.
Not
Am I blind?
Yeah, but like you
I'm-
see how some people like really, really can't see. Like,
I mean, I can, but
It's blurry.
It's blurry.
It's like
Like, yeah, I could make out shapes and
Yeah.
and yeah, but
whoa.
the verb in the shape.
Shame.
yeah.
Do you know when you take off your glasses, it's so sad. You're like, wow, like
Yeah.
I have to pay to see.
Do you know, I sometimes pray, and then do you know that scene in Spider-Man when he takes his glasses off and he can see?
Yeah.
I do pray for that sometimes.
Yeah,
But
I've done that before.
it's all good.
100%.
It's all good. So glasses, I probably have to chuck a camera in there.
Oh, yep.
Of some sort. How many things am I doing?
4, 5.
Yeah, 4 or 5.
Okay, this is going to sound proper cheesy. I'll probably put a picture of Kendra in because then people can see, wow, this guy was punching above his weight. So that's the third one. And fourth one, do I go... I either want to do a suit or Arsenal, something to do with Arsenal. But I'll probably chuck a suit in there.
Nice.
I like wearing suits. So yeah.
How about Arsenal suit?
The Arsenal badge on it.
The emblem.
I was thinking
we'll go with
red
that.
all over.
damn.
We'll go with the Arsenal badge. We'll go with the Arsenal badge on the suit.
What about you, Flo?
Picture of my family.
Oh, yeah.
A bottle of water.
Oh, I should have done Pepsi. What am I doing? Oh, Galaxy. Sorry.
Lip balm. And they have to have a snack, popcorn.
Ooh, nice.
Sweet and salted popcorn.
Yes. What would you have, though?
Oh, just sweet.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like salt.
No, I like sweet and salty.
Yeah, I like the
I quite like
combinations.
the combo.
Okay, next one. If you had £5,000 drop into your account anonymously, what are you spending it on?
The person that just got married, I'd probably put it towards the deposit of a house.
Nice.
The person that hasn't just got married, I'd probably buy a wrestling ring.
Wrestling ring.
If I'm literally every single time we used to do this in school, you know they used to say you can spend it on whatever.
Yeah.
I always wanted to buy a wrestling ring,
Oh, sweet.
like a full size wrestling ring.
The dream.
Who's your favourite wrestler?
Who's my favourite wrestler? Well, this is a difficult question. Right now or all time?
Both.
Do you, if I say a wrestler, do you know the wrestler?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, well, obviously the Rock's up there, but there's this guy called AJ Styles at the moment.
Yeah.
Oh, you know?
Yeah, I watch WWE, so...
Swear.
Yeah.
Why have I never known about this?
Yeah, everybody asks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there we go. You know, Florence watches wrestling as well.
Is it?
We love wrestling in our house.
Oh,
start society,
same.
man.
Like, my grandma started it.
New podcast.
Yeah.
New podcast. WWE podcast. Podcast. Come on.
Defo.
£5,000. I'd pay my tithes. £500.
No, you wouldn't.
I would.
You did.
And with the 4 or 5, a cruise.
Oh,
Go on a cruise, family cruise.
Just you and Florence or you and Emmanuel? Or
Oh no, I'll
You yourself
take the
can
family. Probably have to top it up a bit, but yeah, take the family.
That's sweet. Okay, what is a topic / idea / issue that you're curious about but you haven't really delved into yet, and why?
Topic advice that you're curious about.
Yeah, any like topic or issues or ideas that like, I don't know, that you want to learn about but you haven't actually looked into, maybe you're curious about.
do you guys have an answer for this? Because that might help me think of an answer.
I want to get into like cars and stuff.
Oh, I see. Okay, fair enough.
I think cars are cool.
Do you have an answer, Florence?
I do.
Oh, you go for it. You go for it.
Architecture. So like
Nice.
building a house, like from top,
bottom up.
top to bottom, bottom up. Yeah, just I know they dig the foundations, but then what else? Do they do the pipes first and whatever else? Just like to know how it works.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
Do you watch those videos of like those guys who build like swimming pools?
Oh, with like a.
I love them. Why are you
It's not
laughing?
with
it's
the
just
hands,
funny.
is it? It's like a little bit of a.
Yeah,
piece.
Or,
Yeah.
like when they fix like a
I'm like,
sink
how?
with like noodles.
Oh yeah, and
Oh,
then
no, I've
yeah,
not
they
seen
put
that.
super
I've
glue,
not
they
seen
they
that.
brush it off and then they paint over it.
Is this like a
Literally.
TikTok video or something?
No, like
No, it's
YouTube,
just
like
YouTube. People
Come on,
just do
John, get
weird
with
stuff.
the
Yeah, I
program.
better get with it. Sorry.
Yeah, get with it. What is the last TV show you binged?
Like fully binged or binging?
Oh, you can go binging.
Because I'm rewatching The Walking Dead at the moment.
Oh, cool.
But last one I binged was probably. Oh, I watch a lot, to be fair. Probably How I Met Your Mother.
Okay, yeah.
That's one of my favourites. So I've probably watched it like 5 times all the way through. So
Oh, you just go over it and over again.
yeah, I'll go. Oh no, it's The Office. Sorry,
Okay.
the
nice.
US Office. US Office.
Oh yeah.
US Office.
I think it was the one about the royal family.
Oh, The Crown.
It's The Crown.
The Crown. That's
The
it.
Crown. The Crown was juicy. Very juicy. I was getting proper excited. I was like, oh, what's going to happen next? But then you kind of forget, like, it is kind of dramatized, but it's like the kind of main points of it. So not too shabby. But yeah, those are all the questions we have.
Okay.
I'm going to move on to Waffle of the Week. Yeah.
I need a minute. I actually feel sick.
Have some
Drink
water.
some warm
Yeah, drink some,
water.
seriously, drink some warm water.
When you're sick, warm water is good.
Yeah, it helps flush out the vinegar from your system.
That slime.
Slime.
It just feels like slime. Like, it doesn't feel like water.
Are you going to be ill?
No,
I mean,
I'm good.
Florence, these nuggets are actually decent, you know?
Yeah.
You did that on
Thank you, Black Hand.
Anyways, okay, so Waffle of the Week. So you said that you watched The Walking Dead. So in an apocalypse, would you be like the ones to like formulate a plan to fight the aliens or the zombies or whatever? Or would you like try and hide and survive? Or would you just like comply with whatever they want you to do?
Good one. I've been thinking about this a lot.
Is it?
Yeah. I've also been thinking about the location I would go to.
Oh, wow.
Is it?
Yeah.
Like, if it was happening like right now, like
Shall I tell you where?
where?
In the church.
Is it?
Because we've got lots of space. The car park, you can if any zombies come in, you just throw them in there and then you isolate them in there. And have you seen how much stock is in the sauce right now? Not sauce, Store City.
Yeah.
But how do you access it from here? Like,
You have to risk it. You have to go out.
Dig
on
a
it.
tunnel.
That is a bit difficult. But
you have to like drill a hole, I
you
guess.
you go through the roof somehow. I mean, there's leads to go through the roof. I think
It's
you probably-
really thought about this.
Oh yeah. I mean, imagine this kind of space. We've got so many rooms for different bedrooms. The only difficulty would be a shower.
Yes.
Yeah. Tissues.
Do you not have any
You're gonna
showers?
have to kind
No,
of.
we
I
don't
need
have
need
showers.
proper shower.
Yeah, no,
I
but
mean, we've got
Oh, no, we got-
taps.
but the
should get a shower.
stores that you have any sort of like toiletries,
Oh,
Yeah, no, they do.
Toiletries, yeah.
any like flannels and stuff.
I mean,
They have sponges, I guess.
You could try like it.
I
So
think-
was that for you to hide then, or
hide?
to?
No.
You would fight, so you would be like a grand centre.
I would want to get a team together. Yeah, but I wouldn't be the one that just follows. I'd like to make the decisions.
Assemble.
Yeah. But actually, I'm not gonna say. No. Let's move on.
Oh, still intricacy.
Just in case it happens, I don't want you guys to come.
I'll be over here in a flash. 2 minutes away. I'm here. I'm
You'd
here.
be like, this is my team.
Yeah, I wouldn't comply. I wouldn't hide. I'd probably try and fight.
Right,
I'd go to a shopping centre like Lakeside or something because like that's huge. And when I get tired, I can have a bit of retail therapy.
Try on some clothes.
Yeah, try
And a zombie just
on,
bucks you
and
in the.
If
in
they
the
come up,
change-
pretend I'm a mannequin and just stand still.
Yup.
What would you do?
Oh, I don't even know. I'm in between because I'm like, do you know if you fight just to get like got
Yeah,
anyway?
like,
It's just like I could have just.
You're welcome here.
I will join John's team.
Nah, I
We need
would.
people like you, Laura.
I would hide.
You.
I would hide and try and survive. Like, you know, how people like they try and survive. Like you see, like in the
Just
quiet
stay in one
place and
place.
stuff. No, not stay in one place. Like they move around. But like, I don't think I'd fight because then like, I could die.
Yeah.
But then I could get either way. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I would just try and see what life is like when everybody's like gone. So I'll try like.
It's just the only person in
Yeah.
it.
Like you know, there's people that go shopping like they're in the shopping thing like when it's so quiet.
Yeah, and the music's still playing,
Yeah,
but there's like no one
yeah.
in the world.
Very eerie.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the waffle of the week. We're gonna move on to the big topic. So a big topic is on marriage. Obviously, you'll know by the title. So we've got Flo here, we've got John. They're both married in different obviously relationships, but we wanted to get two different people from different relationships get perspective. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So first question is, I guess that like loads of people say like marriage isn't a joke and things like that, but I don't really know what that necessarily means, and I feel like a lot of people don't know what that necessarily means. Like how so is like marriage not a joke? Like how deep is it basically?
Well, I mean, without trying to make it sound so somber, it's
Yeah.
if you go back to the Bible, it is not a contract. It's a covenant between two people. So I don't think it's something that you should enter into lightly.
Yeah.
It's not. Let's see how it goes. I mean, there's an element because nobody knows how anything will go, but I think If we bring it back to the Bible, then we know it's a covenant between two people, and obviously there's God in the mix as well. So from that respect, it's, did you say serious?
Yeah.
Or yeah, it can be serious.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the fact that it's no joke, it's you've got to put effort in as well.
Yeah.
I think when there's always going to be conflict when two people are talking about the subject and have different views or anything like that, especially different cultures mixing, different backgrounds mixing, different things like that. So the fact that you have to be serious that you're going to put the effort in, because you can't just I think at the beginning of when we were just dating, I thought you could just coast through this, you can just do your normal thing, but you've also got your girlfriend as well, you've got someone that you can talk to if you're sad or anything like that. But no, it's a serious thing, and you've got to put your effort in as well. So in the fact that it's no joke, it's more the fact that you've got to put your effort in if you want it to succeed.
I mean, I'll add to that as well, that this is probably one of the most intimate relationships you're going to have, where you're vulnerable to the point the person knows you from head to toe. So people's lives are at stake here, and it can do, if it doesn't go right, it can have long lasting damage. So I think just the fact that two individuals, you're making yourselves very vulnerable, I think it's something that you need to not take lightly. But
I think people often like forget that, like, even though you might be doing something, the effect of it for other people, like, you just don't know how it's going to go. And I think that's why it's so, like, you've got to be extra careful, because you actually don't know how it's going to go. It's almost as if you can't really anticipate if it were to go wrong, like, who would it affect and how much it would affect them. So I guess it's super serious. But on your point about sort of like having someone to cry to if you're sad and whatnot, I guess, like, sometimes the idea of, like, being with someone forever is just so weird. I've seen loads of memes, and it's like, imagine if you're sad and you want to go to bed and there's just someone next to you while you're crying. Like, how do you, like, get used to, like, the fact that, like, someone's just, like, kind of, like, in your life, like, this almost, like, not stranger, because you I mean, they could be a stranger kind of to you, because you don't really know them, like, that well in the beginning, especially. So they're almost kind of like just new, and especially if they're, like, boyfriend and girlfriend first, so it's kind of new in that aspect. So how do you, like, deal with, like, just having the stranger basically in your business all the time?
I mean, I get what you mean by stranger, but I would always say friends first, date later. So me and Kendra, we was intentional individually. We didn't talk about this, but we made sure that we became friends before we ever started dating. Before I asked her out, we were friends. We would talk and stuff like that. And we wanted to build that sort of on a foundation of friendship, because you probably heard it before, like, looks change. As much as looks attract the person straight away, I don't care what anyone says about, I'm just about personality. No, you're not. Because looks is what attracts someone. And then you get to know the personality via friendship. And you said about... So I answered that bit. What was the bit you were talking about before? Because I feel like I just said something and I've completely forgot your question.
I guess it's like like someone that's, like, sort of new in terms of, like, how do you get used to someone that's, like, new in your life in that way? Because especially if you haven't had, like, a boyfriend or girlfriend before, it's like, this has never happened. So how is that? I
mean, so Kendra was my first girlfriend. And last. So no, it is last. So to get, I don't know. It's an interesting question. I don't know if I've ever thought about it. I don't know about you, France, but you just get used to them. I don't know.
I think it's from what John said about having a friend.
I was going to say, maybe.
So it's not a stranger.
No,
it's
someone you'd like to spend your time with. It's someone who you want to share the highs and the lows with. It's someone if you were stranded on an island, you say, definitely, you're coming with me. So once that's there, there's no element of feeling, this person's here. You actually want them then. If they're not there, that's when there's a problem.
All right, yeah.
Definitely.
That makes sense.
But I think definitely build it on the foundation of friendship
Most
first.
definitely,
And in terms of, like, seeing value in your partner, so, like, what do you look for in terms of, like, values, or what should people? I mean, I guess everyone's different, so this really depends on the person. But what would you say are good, like, values to look for in a partner?
Well, I think trust is a big thing. all friendships, it doesn't matter whether you're in reception.
Yeah.
You can trust that if you're in reception, you can trust the person would look after your plasticine, toy when you say look after that. So there's, I think trust is a big thing, because when you trust someone, then you're more
open.
Yes, you'll be more open. You'll be, allow yourself to be open. So trust is one. I think shared interests is a big thing. Bible says two can't agree. It doesn't. If you don't agree on something or on a particular thing, then I'm not quite sure what you're in there for. So I think so trust, shared interests. I'll hand over to you, John.
I think when we were speaking, the main thing for me was that she was a Christian as well.
Yeah.
And then the second thing was how highly she valued family, because me and my family, we're quite close, we're quite connected, and I would want that for my family later down the line. And I just wanted to see how Kendra was like, and she's very close to her family as well. So I think those values lined up, and we both love serving in the church. So that was kind of a value that lined up as well, and similar to what Florence said, trust, forgiveness as well. That was big. That was one of the things I noticed about her the most, that she was so forgiving. And I thought, if I mess up, she's going to forgive me. So it's all good. But yeah, that would be some of the things.
Yeah. I think like on that point, in terms of like with the family thing, so like I did psychology.
Okay.
So A-level psychology, I didn't carry it forward. I think it's cool. I do it in my own time, but psychology, it kind of, there's like a theory where it's talking about, and I think it's kind of about logic anyway, but it's kind of like how your childhood affects your adult relationships. So how would you say your childhood has affected your adult relationships? It could be obviously positive, negative, whatnot, but sort of like what has that done? Because obviously if you have like a tight sort of family, you kind of want to emulate that like later on. So that's like a direct sort of like effect there. So what else would you say has affected your...
Do you want to go for it?
Yeah, in terms of childhood, I mean, just touching base on what John has said about family, being family orientated, we were definitely that. So you'd visit aunties and uncles. It wasn't just the three of us and that's all none. So I don't know if it's an African thing, but you have uncles and aunties that are not your real aunties.
You have your cousins, like trying to explain your cousin. He's not your cousin to your friend. Like.
Literally.
It's an African thing.
So that openness to bring everybody into the fold or class them as your family, that's affected, well, not affected in a bad way, in a good way. So I think we carry that on. Like my kids refer to a particular person as an uncle, even though they've got no relation or they're black or they're white, but that's just
uncle. That's just uncle.
Yeah.
I think there's different things that I think obviously parents are not perfect. I love my parents. They did an absolutely amazing job. Exhibit A. So obviously, but they do things wrong because they're human, right? You can learn from that as well. I'm not going to go and out them because I wouldn't do that, but there are definitely things that maybe I saw my parents do that I thought, okay, I get maybe why you did it, because obviously life is life, but how I would do that differently. And who knows, that might happen, it may not. What things that I think the biggest thing I brought is the closeness of family. And I always appreciated that my mum and dad, they'd be like, we're going to watch a TV show together, so it's time for you guys to go upstairs. But in the moment I was like, but I want to watch it. But I understood that they wanted to have
to connect
time together. That's what I'm going to say to my kids. I mean,
pack it up, bro. See you guys. But to be fair, with like technology and everything, it depends like how much you're going to put like TVs and stuff in your kids' rooms. I'm not, so it doesn't.
I think that's down to Kendra.
Oh, really?
It's like a team thing. But so in terms of like, now we talked about like, this is, okay, I guess not a stranger, but a person that sort of developed that in your life now. How much do you would you say you changed? Because obviously you're talking about like making an effort. So, and obviously, like you said, parents aren't perfect because they're human. So are we. So like, how much would you say you changed, I guess, because with the effort thing?
That's a difficult one, because sometimes you don't know you've changed until a situation arises, right? So I would say I've changed. I think I smile more. I think I could be quite miserable before. Not because I think it's, I don't know, it encourages you to smile more, not because everything's going right or anything like that.
Yeah.
I don't don't know why. I think
just so smiley as well.
that is true.
Yeah.
That is
So
contagious,
probably rubbed
to
off
be
on
fair.
you,
Yeah. I've learned how to forgive, not because of anything she's done, but how she's taught me how to forgive. How have I changed? I think when you, even if it's not different cultures, even if it's two white families or two black families, I think when you mix two cultures of a families together, you're always going to have to change. And so I've had to be flexible in timings. And that's all I'll say.
Lovely.
Oh gosh, I've changed massively. I mean, ranging from being upset and like not saying why I'm upset, because you think, well, you should know why I'm upset.
Yeah, I think that's a big one. Like communication, it's a big one.
So I've learned you can say why you're upset, even if they don't understand. You just get your point across. I think for me as well, it's realizing that rather than changing that person, maybe I need to be the one to change.
Yeah.
So it's not an easy pill to swallow because we all think we're perfect in all that we do. But we're not.
Yeah.
So you have to change massively. Be flexible. Realize that somebody else's feelings are at stake, and things that you think might be all right, like arriving 2 hours late.
Yeah.
It's not okay for that person.
Yeah.
So finding and being able to compromise when you don't agree.
I think what's interesting is, I don't know if you guys know, Florence did mine and Kendra's marriage counselling.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
So
Oh, this is nice.
Hey, like a cute little catch up.
And the manual as well. But yeah, I think the biggest thing that they talk about is make sure you talk about it before you go into marriage. So like certain things that your family did, you have to tell them, otherwise. So an example they would use is, let's say Kendra's dad did all the cooking and my mum did all the cooking. We go into the marriage, Kendra expects me to do all the cooking, I expect Kendra to do all the cooking, then we've got a problem because no one does the cooking, or stuff like that, right? So it's all about communication and talking about it before. I'd say for me, we were talking about this before we even engaged, but that's because I knew I wanted to marry her, but it wasn't official. Definitely before you say your vows, make sure you communicate certain things, because you don't want any difficult. I mean, marriage is already going to be a challenge, so you don't want to add extra challenges to that.
Yeah, and that's what I was getting at with the whole childhood thing, because I guess that like even things like not talking about things, I think some parents, like maybe in childhood, like they don't really listen, so you feel like you can't say anything outwardly, so then when you get you
can't communicate your feelings that well. And like in TV shows as well, they always get into like, let's say two people that rush into marriage or something, and then they always be like, oh, like one person wants to have kids and the other one, I'm like, did you not talk about
this? What's going on, bro?
I'm just like, how can you not talk about kids, like something like that? I just feel like communication is very, very key.
So I guess even before marriage, like communication has to be like like a huge thing to even be able to think about.
I think honestly it's very vital. Sometimes it's not the big things that cause problems, it's the little things. And it's the little things that you do need to talk about, like who takes out the rubbish, who does the cooking, are you going to stay at home when you have the kids?
Cooking's not a little thing, by the way.
That's sustenance right there.
Who's gonna look after the kids? Are they going to go to nursery? Are you willing to work part-time? I mean, all of these things come into play, and it's advisable to talk about them beforehand.
And I guess that's the good thing about counselling though. It's like to actually start picking apart certain things, and I think that even with like loads of people talking about mental health now, which is cool, it's like even looking inwards, so introspection, and like there's some things like you had to sit down and actually think about, and you didn't really know that was what you did.
Exactly.
But it's just like, oh, like I see, and like you start following like the like thread, and you're like, oh, that's where it came from. You're like, oh, great. Exactly. But then you get to pick apart stuff like that and fix it. So like in terms of like conflicts, like you were talking about conflicts, like how do you guys deal with that? And like what is like sort of your first point of call? Is it then just like communication? I mean, like realistically, we'd like to say like we speak all the time, but I think that like sometimes it gets a bit like
I think the Christian in me says, oh, I just forgive instantly, but then the human side of me, first of all, so again, you have to talk about this before. Like, how do each of you deal with conflict? Me, I'll get annoyed in the moment, and literally a minute later, I will actually forget about it.
Yeah, me too.
Good.
Like, not even that I've chosen to forget about it. It's more the fact that I've realised it's actually not that big a deal. We don't need to talk about this. Kendra, on the other hand, if she upsets me, she'll say sorry. She'll then want to talk about it. I'm like, no, I'm good. I promise you, I'm good. It won't come up again. I promise you. So you have to deal with that. So conflict is. It's a difficult one because you're always going to go for it with friends, with kids, with family, with uncles and aunties and stuff like that. I think it's what's difficult with marriage is you then have to see them immediately after. You can't. I think I was talking to someone yesterday. The biggest jump between marriage and not married and not being married is I can't hang up the phone. Like when I'm annoyed or something like that. Like you're then going to see the person either the next morning, not that I think you should go to bed angry, but if you do, you're going to see them the next morning, or you're going to see them very soon. So I think you just have to deal with it. You have to communicate. And I think they're saying that Florence, when we're doing our pre-marriage thing, is that if it is a heated conversation, and let's say it's hitting 10 p.m., you can say, let's pause this. Can we talk about it the next day? Because the later it gets, the more the later you get, the more honest you get, the more when you get tired, you're more likely to say something you regret later.
Yeah, you're not really critically thinking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you pause that, you'd be like, can we come back to this another day? Maybe we've taken time to reflect on it, we're taking time. But that's good at any relationship. Like, you should never answer or say something in the heat of the moment because you're going to say something you regret.
No, definitely. I mean, conflict is inevitable in any relationship. I think once you have that in mind, when it happens, don't feel like, oh, something's wrong. They don't seem to be arguing. Well, why is it just me and my husband that are arguing or whatever? I think once that's in your mind, okay, there's a conflict. You're two different people. You've got two, you're let's say you are married. That doesn't mean that everything the person does or says you'll both agree. So I think bear that in mind. Communication.
Yeah.
If you're angry, say you're angry and say why you're angry.
Yeah.
If you're angry, don't attack the person. Attack what the issue is.
True.
Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah.
So you find out what the problem is. And one thing we I don't know if I mentioned this, don't say always, or you always do this. No, they don't always do it.
Yeah.
They may do it sometimes, but it's not always.
Yeah.
So again,
definitely.
being tired and
that.
saying certain things, be wary of that. So, but I think if you bear it in mind, conflict will come. It's not a bad sign. Sometimes it's a healthy sign.
Yep.
That you're disagreeing. It's okay to disagree, but it's attack or deal with the issue. Don't attack the person.
Yeah, that's a good one. So switching up a little bit, in terms of like finances, do you guys like split accounts? Like what happens with that? That's like
what is a joint account? Like?
Yeah, I don't really know the
financial director over
politics of this.
Well, a joint account is basically one account but two names. So husband,
so
wife.
like two cards or like one card?
Yeah, two cards, yeah. Sometimes, depending on the bank, the cards will have a different, there's 16 digits along there, but it will be different. Other times it might be the same number, but the card will have different names on it. So it's just one account with two names on it. That's literally what it is. And both of you have access to it, equal access, should be.
Yeah.
So it should be equal access. So what was the question about that? Sorry?
Yeah, so like how do you guys like sort of manage like the finances, I guess, in terms of like again it's like it's a new thing, like this is someone coming into your life and you're coming into theirs, so how do you like do with that financial stuff? I don't know.
I mean, John was we definitely encourage you to have a joint account. So let it be one main account, and then you can have your own separate private account. So sometimes if you want to buy something without him or her knowing, you can do it from your private account, for example. But having the joint account, I'll speak for myself. Both my husband and my salary, Emmanuel's and I, our salary both goes into the joint account. All our bills come up from there. So water, electricity. The only thing that we've tried to keep in our separate accounts are, for example, our mobile phone bills, because that's in our individual names. And again, it helps to keep the account ticking over and not just like dormant. But I thoroughly encourage it to have one account, work as one. You are one, so don't think, oh, right, you do that and I do this. Sometimes it brings conflict. So I don't know, I'll give an example. If the interest rate go up and the husband's responsible for paying the mortgage, and then you just, I don't know, put fuel in the car and fuel prices go down, he might say, well, fuel prices have gone down, so you need to contribute to the mortgage because that's gone up. Just an example, but I think it's nice to work together. It's teamwork. As John has said it before, marriage is hard enough. Don't add things to bring complications. So work together. Obviously, you have to agree. If you don't agree, then do what pleases you. But I definitely think working together is there are three things for me that cause problems in relationships.
I was wondering when you were going to say
communication, money and sex. Money is a big thing. You'll be surprised how much it can cause so much animosity and unnecessary, to be honest. So I think work together as a team in those three areas.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, we are in the process of getting a joint account because I didn't want to do it before we got. Anyway, I don't need to tell you why I didn't do it. It's just sometimes the bank forms are not easy to fill out when you're not married yet. Anyway,
all right.
But yeah, so we're getting a joint account. Just exactly what Florence said. It's just easier to manage money. But we have a rule within reason. Kendra, I can spend up to 50 quid basically without telling the person. Because I don't want me or I'm the one that normally deals with the finances more just because I'm better with numbers and money. But I don't want Kendra ever to feel like she's worked for this and she feels bad for spending the money she's worked for. Like if she wants to buy a dress, you can buy a dress as long as it's not more than £50.
What if it's £51?
Then she has to call me. No, but that's the kind of thing that we wanted to do because we both earn our own money. Obviously, it's joint together, but we don't want to feel bad for spending the money that we've earned. And I didn't want her to have to keep checking in with me. Like, can I spend this? How's the finances? I mean, I speak to her about finances, and she'll know the basics of it. But I will do the budget and stuff like that, and work out how much we're spending this month. But yeah, within reason. That we've got that £50 budget.
That's it.
That's that buzzword, budget.
Florence is happy that I've got a budget.
Do you feel like, because both of your accounts are together now, do you feel like you have a bigger budget, or do you think it's gone smaller because you guys are sharing it?
It's a good one.
I mean, what's difficult is I was living at home, so yes, we're getting more money in, but I'm also spending a ton more money. Because
wait till the kids come along, John. You'll spend a ton more.
Let's just simmer that down. I mean, we don't have to go into all the details, but basically rent prices in this town they're very expensive. So going from paying a little bit, I used to pay keep. Let's be honest, nothing compared to what I pay now. From going to paying keep to now paying rent. Yes, I'm getting more money in, but I'm also spending more money. And on top of that, you got bills and stuff like that. I'm really trying not to put you off marriage and buying stuff like that.
I think it's the reality that they
because this is the reason we kind of wanted to do this, because everyone talks about wait till marriage, but what is it? Let's unpack.
What is marriage?
What's it like?
Marriage.
Ins and outs.
So John is right. So you'll have more because it's a combined income. But your expenses will obviously they will. And I know kids will come later, but that also has its own cost implications.
I'm not looking forward to the food bill with kids.
That's a lot of people are like, I can't wait till I get like kids and stuff like that and married. I'm like, cool, but like it's a lot, man.
I think people see a lot of the highlights of kids, right? When people post on Instagram all the cute photos. But then you didn't see that kid screaming for 2 hours.
Literally.
Nor did you see when I went to JD and I paid £150 for a pair of trainers because those were the in trainers. So you're saying, I'm sure you.
No. So basically, my friend has kids. So I see like when other people when she posts them, she's like, I was like, they're so cute. But then like I've seen when they're actually like screaming and they don't know like when to stop. Like it's just like they don't stop, and then she's just like, You can see that. No, you can see like but you can actually see like how stressed like she gets sometimes, and it's just like
I really like the age of 2/3. It's what my nephew is at the moment. You can sort of communicate with them. They don't really know what they're saying back, but you can sort of have fun with them. But then they're not gonna
they're not too chatty. They're not too chatty,
but they're not gonna go and scream the next second. And stuff like that. So.
Definitely.
I wish Did you guys ever play The Sims?
Yeah. Come
Okay,
on,
I don't
that's
know
my
if you know,
game.
but you can sort of cheat to move them up the years.
Yeah,
If you just give
I
them
do
a
that.
birthday cake.
Yeah. That's what I do. They're really annoying as kids.
I wish you could do that. You know, like when they're kids, you just give them birthday
Birthday
cake.
cake
Or they're a
and they just-
toddler. Oh, now they're a young
And then the lights.
Exactly. Yeah. I wish you could do that in real life. But,
No, but I'm like in terms of like spending my parents' money, I'm not really. I just chill in my house really. Like even shoes, I'm not even big sneakerhead. Like I wear literally the same shoes like all the time. So,
yeah, £50. Like calling someone every time you spend over £50, that's a bit mad.
you think?
Yeah, for me, I sometimes, not a lot, yeah, not all the time, but then sometimes I'll not even realise.
Oh, you
that
just
I've
tap in.
spent- Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I think. I guess like when it's another person, you're gonna have to think more about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the other thing about I think the word me and Kendra are using is it a priority at the moment?
Yeah.
We've just paid for a wedding, and it's obviously a lot cheaper than most people's weddings because we had the beauty. I'm not going to say beauty of COVID, but we had a small blessing of what COVID has brought. But we've obviously chucked a load of money into that. So at the beginning of marriage, it's always going to be a bit difficult because you want to get that money back, you want to save again.
The cash
at the same time, you're also paying for rent for your first time, and we're figuring stuff out should we spend this much on food? Should we do this? Are we allowed to go out this much and stuff like that?
So it's like Sims in real life now.
It is like Sims in real life, except yes, you didn't pay rent in Sims. But,
and you could do mother load.
Well, I never did that. Anyway,
I'm a cheater.
Jemima, I'll just speak into what you said about calling someone to spend £50, and it's not like trying to be
micromanage,
controlling.
Yeah.
But just imagine. So I go out and I see a pair of shoes, and they're £50, and I buy it, and Emmanuel goes out and does the same thing because he would do that. I wouldn't. I'm just joking. But if the two of you carry on at that rate, the so-called budget would just be obliterated. So it's not a controlling thing. It's just a thing to, especially if I don't know, like John, that you've just started, and you'd normally go shopping and buy whatever you want. That's all good and well, but remember the bills still have to be paid. So it is like John said, is it a priority? And it's not a controlling thing. I think it's just making sure. Have we got enough? Can I do this? Have we got enough? Or you can say, sometimes for me, I'll say, okay, do you know what? I'll defer it. I'll wait till next month. Maybe they're on sale or something. So don't see it as a controlling thing. It has to be teamwork. Otherwise, like I said, money will cause problems if you don't deal with it.
I get that.
Yeah. On like sex and stuff, so that's the third thing. So like, how is love different from just like sort of raw passion or just sexual desire? How would you say?
So love versus lust.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. I didn't know we were getting this deep today. Okay. So love versus lust. Well, lust is basically a sexual desire with no strings attached, really. For me, it's more about the physical outward being rather than. And like I said, you're always drawn to attraction, but until you understand the inside of the person, for me, I don't feel like that's true love. And I think it says love is patient, love is kind. So until you then experience that, I don't think love has happened yet. But in marriage, like what was the question?
Oh no, it's just in general, because I don't think obviously in marriage it's not bad to have sexual desire.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
for your
for your spouse. Just adding that there. But yeah, no, it was just a difference really.
We were speaking about this in AP. You shouldn't feel bad for having a sexual desire towards someone.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm just speaking here. I think because we're all human, we are wired that way to have that desire.
Yeah.
But it's what you do with that desire. If you then commit a sin, if you then go and do something, that's when it becomes a problem. So you shouldn't feel bad for having sexual desire towards someone.
Yeah.
And especially, in marriage, it's fine as long as you're having a sexual desire towards your spouse. Just clarifying that.
Yeah, I mean, when you said love, that's what came to mind. Love is patient, love is kind, and as the Bible says, lust is none of those things. It's more of a selfish thing, if anything.
Come on, that's good.
So I think that's the big difference, where in marriage, it's not like a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, see you later kind of thing. That's what, for me, that's what sums up lust. It's just about that moment. It's about the here and now. It's about satisfying that feeling, that sexual desire. Love goes the mile. Love stays. Love cares and protects. So that's the big difference.
Yeah,
I think God created love to show. No, he didn't create love. He created marriage to show us how he loves us.
Yeah,
like he doesn't. It's going to sound weird. He doesn't lust after us. No. He loves us. Yeah. So exactly all those things that Florence just said is that God created marriage to show unity between him and the church and him and his people. And so how much we love our wife or how much we love our husband, that's how much, well, actually God loves us more than that. So it's a way of comparing God to us as well.
Yeah.
So quickly, what you said about you said that marriage is what God made to show his love between us and the church.
Yep.
So I have a D and Q earlier. So D's and Q's are dilemmas and questions that people send in through
Instagram,
Snapchat,
all of that stuff,
socials and that. So one of the D and Q's I have is.
Could I have some warm water?
I really don't want to drink it.
What's funny is, obviously if it's hot, it will cool down. If it's cold, it's actually cooled down to room temperature now.
Oh, is it? Oh.
Yeah, it actually does taste better, like a tiny bit better.
You know when you think John's gonna be serious about something, and at the end he just like
he does that a lot. His face is just like
so you don't know. You're like, oh, you're gonna get some information, and it's like, nah. It's good though.
Oh, do you think if somebody's part of a non-religious group that doesn't practice marriage, should they get married? Like, if religion isn't part of your
your ethos.
Yeah, or like, you see how marriage is like a sacrament in Christianity, or like in other religions, it's like a big part of it. If you're not religious, or if your religion doesn't practice marriage, should you get married?
I think first of all, there are loads of Christians who are married.
Yeah.
So that's the first start. It's for companionship. It could be for tax purposes. For various reasons, people get married. So I don't. But if what you believe in doesn't believe in marriage, I don't know why you would want to get married then. But having said that, there are Christians who are not married and who treat their wives. I'm not saying better, but who still treat their spouses the same or good and respect and don't have relationships outside. Being a Christian doesn't mean that's your
marriage is going to be perfect.
Or being a Christian doesn't mean that because you're a Christian you must get married. I'm not saying that. You can be a Christian and get married, and you can not be a Christian and still get married and still enjoy that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think from a guy's perspective, I don't think we're so excited for marriage. I definitely think it's more of a female thing. You watch the movies, all the girls have dreamed of their white wedding and stuff like that. But I think a lot of Christian couples, they feel like getting married is like the end goal.
Yes, they're pissing me off.
It's like once you've hit that, cool, we can now go to heaven happy. But it's actually just for me and Kendra, it's just another tool where we can honour God and serve God, rather than it's the end and be all.
I feel a lot of the time, I think because like just humans just get excited about certain things, they kind of push that to the forefront of everything. Where it's like sometimes you got to step back and actually think like, what is being a Christian? Like, it's just loving God and serving God and wanting to, like you said, honour Him.
Exactly.
So John's right about honouring God in marriage, but in my thoughts are, and I'm not trying to put a negative spin, but we're Christians and we're not perfect, but there are people in marriage who are not treating their spouses right, whether it's neglect, whether it's physical, verbal abuse, so we have to be aware of all these things. I know we'll all come to church and we'll smile and go out. So what I'm saying about not being a Christian and being married, I'm saying in the sense that we have to realize just because you're Christian doesn't mean that, okay, you get married, everything's going to be okay. You still have things to work on. So we just need to be aware of that.
I assume, I don't know if they're being vague because they don't know, but like, it's obviously down to the person as well. Like if they're actively practicing this religion that doesn't believe in marriage, then I mean that's your thing.
So it wouldn't really make.
Are you also you're not talking about like marrying a non-Christian, are you?
No, I'm just talking about like marriage.
So their religion doesn't believe in marriage.
Yeah,
but they want to be married.
Yeah, or they're not religious.
Oh, okay.
That kind of segues into the next one, actually. Yeah, I know.
Flow it, sorry.
Yo, bars today, bars. So I guess like the question is like, okay, this is a vague one. Like, what's the point of marriage? But with context, it's kind of like, so Adam and Eve didn't go to an altar and like have a priest and not a priest, like a pastor or whatnot, and they didn't like sign anything. So so, I guess what's the point of like the sort of like the signing of everything? Because some people are just kind of like, oh well, I'm with someone, I like them, and we're going to be together forever.
We don't need to sign anything.
We don't need to sign anything. So what is sort of like, what would you say to that?
I mean, well, marriage is first of all a commitment, and for me, if you're not signing it, you're basically saying to your person, your partner, I'm not serious about this, I can leave at any time. For me. First of all, I think you should always get married before God if you're a Christian. I think just to because marriage isn't just about two people, God's in the center as well. And he should always be at the center of it all. And so the God aspect of it, you should always do it, and it doesn't have to be in a church. It could be
on the beach.
It could be on the beach. Exactly. God does move on the beach as well. So I think it's just acknowledging God in this marriage, and then the legal side of it. I mean, it's the legal side of it. I mean, it's become a tradition in this country. I mean, in other countries as well. There must be other countries where you don't have to do this. I mean, but it's a legal thing that you have to do. And if you want to be legally married,
recognized. So would you say like if people got married but like in front of God but they didn't sign it, do you think that takes away anything?
I
mean, they're not really married
in front
of the government.
Because there are two parts. Let's be realistic. There's the God part, and then there's the legal side, the government side. And in a church, both of them you have to do both. Otherwise, it's null and void effectively. So even when people go to Las Vegas to get married, they still sign something. It's not in the church, but something still needs to be signed. So from that respect, I think it's just it needs to be done.
Well, it's saying because like if your partner then passes away and their house is in their name, you don't get that because you're not legally married to them. Or it's just things like that. And then it's a lot difficult to. I think it's a lot more difficult to get loans and stuff like that. I don't know, but so it just makes sense for me.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
What do you think of like contracts outside of marriage, but that go along with it, like prenups or?
I mean, is that an English thing? I've seen it a lot in America.
I think it's a rich people thing.
Fair enough.
Rich people
thing.
I mean, these people are dealing with a whole amount of money that is obscene sometimes. And I understand. It's not. I think if you think about it, you've come in with 1 million, and then he has 20 million, and then you leave with all of his money. I don't know. It's down to them. I guess they're protecting their interests because they know the back of their head. Maybe if it might not work out, if it doesn't work out, I don't want to be left penniless. So I think they're protecting themselves. But sometimes a prenup sort of like it doesn't make sense because you're preempting something
like
breaking up,
isn't
it?
Fail. But marriage is supposed to last forever.
And you also just said that they're thinking of themselves, right? You shouldn't really. For me, you shouldn't. If you're going into marriage for yourself, then it's probably not going to last. If you're just going for, let's be real, sex or anything like that, then it's not.
You're just like, this sexual desire is way too much. I just need to get.
I mean, a lot of Christians get married at like 18, 19 just because they can't wait. They can't wait. And then later down the line they'll get divorced, or later down the line they might stay together. I mean, there's no wrong way to do it. But I would never do a prenup, obviously, because I don't earn that much money, so I don't need that
tax
much.
bracket.
So I mean, each to their own, but I don't see a point in it.
Cool. So we've done all the main questions. I got some D's and Q's. So it's kind of like similar to this kind of like your one. Would you recommend dating someone when you do not get along with their family?
What do you mean by getting along?
Like their family does not like you.
Okay.
They don't like you coming around. Every time you come around,
you know that.
You probably sense it. I mean,
you sense it.
Yeah. Every single time you come around,
verbally said we hate you.
I mean, there's certain stuff they can do that's very loud.
Yeah,
and clear.
like they just won't. They don't feed you when you're there. They just give you rich tea and water.
No, because like I see it with like my mum. Like sometimes when like she doesn't like my sister's boyfriend or something. Like, it would be like,
hello.
Okay.
just be like, I could just be like, I'll just be laughing in the corner. I have to go upstairs.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
I
again,
like this
I guess
man.
it depends what your values are at the beginning. I think for me that would have been a breaking point if Kendra's family hated me. I don't think we can work together. I think because she's so, not that she's influenced by her family, but you are to do an extent.
Yeah. It's people.
But, I mean, it's just not going to work. Like Christmases are going to be awkward, and baby dedications are going to be awkward. The wedding's going to be awkward, and you can't unless you're just going to marry and then move off to Timbuktu or something like that.
Which is actually a real place, by the way.
Yes, thank you.
Some people think
it was just in Upminster.
No, it's an actual place. It's in Africa.
That's actually fun, you know. I went there recently.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun.
It's like a Kiss Kingdom.
Oh, cool. Nice.
So if they don't like you, then I mean you can have a meeting if you want.
That's going to be hard, especially for me, where, like I said, family
is everything.
That's going to be really hard. It probably would be a breaking point because, like John said, there'll be scenarios where you want to be together and like, oh, your mum's coming. Okay, I'm not coming. It's a bit uncomfortable. It's going to be a lot of friction.
It's also, I just realised, it's going to be really hard on the other person.
Yes.
Because not because Kendra's family didn't like me, it's just different cultures are different things. So Kendra would spend a lot more time with my family than I did with hers when we were dating. And I could tell that she didn't always like that. Like, she wanted me to come over sometimes, but just because of cultures and family, that didn't always happen. So imagine that they hated me and that was the reason, and she knew that, that I don't think that would be good for her. So I wouldn't want to do that for her, let alone me.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's a tough one, definitely. But yeah, I guess it's like for the person to decide. But recommend, I personally wouldn't really recommend it. And it gets really, really sad, especially if you have kids.
Yeah.
And like, because personally, I'm just like, you can't hate me and be around my kid. I don't know. It just doesn't really sit well with me.
Or like Paula, what's her name? Paula mum. Like her sister hates.
Yeah.
Hates her.
It's just it's a sad situation. All right. So in terms of like when you're married, obviously you got to keep things fresh and stuff like that. So like in terms of like, loads of people say they date still while they're married. So what do you guys?
Sorry?
They date, like they go on dates. Like they still obviously, like you guys are talking about, like your parents, they still do things together, and you obviously do things with Emmanuel as well, like going out and with the kids and stuff like that. So like, how would you sort of? I guess it's kind of answered before, really, but how would you sort of like make sure you have time for that?
I think I feel like I've talked a lot. Florence, you go.
Well, so obviously date nights, we talk about that a lot, whether it's once a week, whether it's once a month. Date nights. We like going away on holiday, no kids, just myself and Emmanuel. So that's good.
You go on holiday?
That's fine.
I think always try and remember what you did when you were dating.
Yeah.
So the text messages, hi, just thinking about you. Send a love heart, an emoji. Do those little things. At lunchtime, sometimes Emmanuel will call, or I was about to have my lunch and I preferred you over my food, so I thought I'd call you first. And I'll chuckle. I'm like, yeah, you know you're hungry, just eat your food. But he makes the effort. Make the effort to keep love alive, keep romance alive. Don't take each other for granted, or feel, I'll chat to her when I get home, or I'll tell her when I get home. If there are joys, if you can share it, call and share it. If there are lows, you can share it, call and share it. Don't think, wait till we get home and I'll tell him at the dinner table. You know, you can try and be spontaneous as well. Nice diamond ring tucked between, the pillowcase or the pillow sheet or whatever. That'd be just little things like that.
Little things.
No, just try and keep love alive. Keep surprises. A chocolate bar. I love Jaffa cakes. So sometimes I'll come home and there'll be a Jaffa cake, just there.
Just chilling on the bed. Just one.
That's enough for you.
That's my nightmare.
So things like that. Just doing things to keep love alive. Keep the person guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think date night is vital, really. We try to we did it all through dating and engagement and marriage, like. And what we had to realise is, yes, it's cool sitting on the sofa together watching a TV show, but actually it's been a bit difficult because of COVID. But maybe actually do something different, go to the cinema, go for a walk, do something different with that's not just the same surroundings and stuff like that, just to freshen it up and keep the love in the air.
Okay, so another one is so in vows, it says for a woman to obey your husband. And loads of people have questions about that. So like, what does that like mean?
I'm sure it's two ways. Man says it as well.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even clock that, you know.
I mean,
Does it say obey as well? I feel like different translate. I've always heard like
I don't know, maybe it's just movies.
Yeah, maybe it's
love
that.
and to obey.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's the same.
Yeah.
Both
Both
ways.
parties
Yeah,
say the same.
Okay.
Oh,
Unless
sweet.
you
Okay.
choose your own vows.
Yeah. Okay,
What
that's
is
kind of
What's
clear.
that about? Like you just write your own, what you want to say.
I've loved you since the moment I
Yeah,
saw you.
it's
Oh, it's like the talky bit in a movie.
Yeah.
there's like a legal bit that you have to say. I'm pretty sure. Like there's one that, well, I mean, this is what we did, but I mean, I'm pretty sure there's one that you can't really alter, that the pastor has to say, and you repeat back. But the vows,
You make us the bride.
yeah, I don't say that bit. But yeah, I think vows you can say what you want. Really, we chose some pre-written ones just because.
Oh, sweet. Alright, cool. That's cleared up. So both parties kind of just love and obey.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Sweet. The last one. We actually had what's it called? A question from someone. Apex is anonymous, so we don't really know who actually asked it. But like we were on like a panel and stuff like that because we've had like a series of relationships. So this kind of wraps it up on the podcast. But so like I was on the panel and like this question got asked and I was like, it's an interesting question, but like I don't know. I went away and pondered on it a little bit, but I'm gonna ask it to you guys. Anyone, just because you weren't.
No, I wasn't here.
You weren't that. Yeah, exactly. So this is new. Okay, so the person was asking, would it be okay to flirt with a stranger?
Ooh, like it's flirting, cheating or something.
No, just like flirt with a stranger if you want, like because obviously if you haven't like.
Are you married?
No.
Oh, okay. So okay.
Like they just saw something, they're like, oh, I like you. Okay. Kind of like they're trying to get towards like a relationship kind of thing. So like what?
You said best friends first before you start dating.
But not everyone goes through that route.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
so if you were to like approach them, I guess it's like approaching them. Yeah, would flirting be a good way to go about it?
I don't know maybe that's the word. I don't know if flirting is the right word.
Yeah.
But you mean just going to speak to someone that you don't know and what's
the
number or
like so like it might not be like in church because like obviously in church like you get to see people like the same kind of people all the time. But if you're out or something like that, or I don't know, you're maybe even at a church event. I don't know, in a different church. I mean, you see someone.
I don't think flirting's wrong. I mean, it's what is your heart behind? Why are you flirting with this girl? Are you flirting because your friends have dared you, or are you flirting because you like this girl and you want to get to know her more?
Yeah.
So if she's a stranger, I'm saying don't date a stranger. Me personally, I mean, if you don't know the person and they're going to be a stranger, you can approach them like it's not a sin. It's like
So you think you should get to know the person, then date them?
I mean, this is not the perfect way to do it. This is how it's worked for me and Kendra.
Yeah.
Because we knew each other from since I was like 12. She was a bit older. She still is older. Age doesn't magically change. So we already knew each other. So that obviously I didn't have to flirt at the beginning. But I feel like I've just given myself a hole here. You get to know the person, then you date. Because if you just start dating, then you get to know the person, you realise I actually don't really like you. Then it's going to get messy, and then you've got to break up. Especially in church, it's going to get awkward. Who goes to first service, second service, third service?
I actually kind of want to do like an episode on that, like breakups. I think that'd be interesting. Yeah, definitely.
So Emmanuel was a stranger. I didn't know him beforehand, and we started talking. And obviously from talking, But I didn't make the first move. He did.
Pick up Emmanuel.
So with regards to the question, if he hadn't said, "Oh, I'm going to speak to Florence," we didn't know my name then. But then we wouldn't have. This wouldn't be. I wouldn't be here talking about him. So I don't think there's anything wrong with approaching somebody. But I think it's what Jon said. What's your intention? Is it to attractiveness? You have to. You find her attractive. Like Jon said, don't say it doesn't play a part or like your personality. You need to be attracted to person. That's just how it works, I think. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Yeah, don't do it as a dare. Don't do it to. For I don't know what as the camera watching and you're going to send it to
or something.
Or like you're doing it to each girl in the social group.
Exactly.
I have one more.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. It says something about divorce. Oh, why do you think? Hold on, let me find it.
Oh, while you're finding it, I just wanted to do that question because, like, in terms of flirting, I feel like sometimes people can feel like, oh, like you don't want to, like, I guess, like sin or like I guess like because in terms of relationships and sometimes in church, like things are not talked about, so you end up thinking that everything's like a bad thing when not necessarily. It's just again, it's like the heart behind it. So I don't think flirting is a bad thing. It's just kind of like I guess how you're doing it and why you're doing it. And I think like a lot of the time when you say flirting, people think of like the extreme, whereas like it could be just like a banterous like joke.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I was terrible at flirting. I had to use my humour. You have to use what you got. So humour was the way for me. So.
Yeah.
So it says, why do you think the divorce rate is so high nowadays?
Good question.
Yeah. Like I've said, marriage is the union of two imperfect people in an imperfect world. And things will not always go right. I mean, there are things that people will do where forgiveness is just not an option. And obviously then they'd get divorced. But where they are able to forgive and work through it, I think they can carry on. So is the question, why is the divorce rate high in Christians or just in general?
Like, in general, like, right, like, compared to now, compared to, like, I don't know, how many years ago, divorce rate is massively increased.
I think social media or just things being a lot more available plays a part. So back in, I think back in the days, before you get divorced, you have to think about, what will the community think? And I'm not saying it's right, because then you'd probably be there and be suffering, for example.
Yeah.
But now people know, it's readily available. I just need to get a lawyer and, sign a paper and it's done. So I think sometimes the ease with which it can happen. Whereas before, you may decide, I'm going to stick with it or find someone to talk to. Having said that, though, there's a lot more counselling, so people can go for counselling. But it depends if you choose to. I think it's just the ease with which it happens.
Yeah.
Maybe you see celebrities and whatnot.
You idolise that.
Yeah.
But you're not really thinking, you're not really deep in it. I think, like, access, I feel like often when you can get something so quickly, you then don't think about things. It's like even like fast food, it's like, I'll just get this quickly, but you're not really thinking what's in the fast food. You're just like, I just want to eat.
I was going to say, we live on such an on-demand world. Like, apparently the cause of this dilemma is the microwave. When the invention of the microwave has caused everyone to get lazy. That's what I've heard.
It's a ripple effect. I mean, I see it.
And the fact that, fast food, you can watch any TV show whenever you want. I mean, you can check any girl you ever want on YouTube, social media, other sites, whatever. I think the fact that it's so easy to do it and it's available and you can easily just go and find another girl somewhere else or whatever, or a guy, that's true, it's guys as well. I think it's just how easy it is and how on demand, or how our brains have been trained that it's always better on the other side, or it's always greener on the other side. I think that's definitely been a push, and a lot of people don't like fighting for things anymore, I've realised. I mean, like, when it gets a little bit difficult, even me sometimes, when things get a little bit difficult, I'm like, just gonna give up. And I think that's sort of society we live in at the moment, so people don't want to fight for something they believe in anymore. So
I'll just add, there are sometimes legitimate reasons for divorce.
Definitely.
Oh yeah,
so
1000%.
But where it is possible to
Mend.
fight for it and mend,
try, I think. But if you can't, it is what it is. But I guess it's that, like, just training people to think a little bit more, regardless of what society says. Like, if everyone's going fast, you can go slow. Like, it's not a must that you have to go fast just because everyone is going fast. But we're gonna end it here. This was a good conversation. I really enjoyed it.
good.
You know I love two people coming on at the same time, so
Yes.
it's lit. But yeah, where can they find us, Jemima?
So you can find us on YouTube.
Yeah, which they're probably watching on right now. They could be actually. Yeah, we do have
Deezer.
Deezer, Spotify. We got Apple
Podcasts.
Yeah. Instagram, the Apex Youth Dagenham, it'll pop up. We got Focus. Yep. The dates and times of that pop up. And by the time this comes out, Apex will be done, innit? Over.
But Apex Uncut coming soon, guys.
Ooh. Yes, it's dropped on our Instagram. The trailer for it is dropped. White Hand has done an amazing job. Oh, and on YouTube. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I saw that actually.
Are you gonna play it as after this?
You could actually, check it out after this. It's gonna be sick. So tune in for that during the summer, and we're gonna still be doing podcast stuff as well. But yeah, enjoy your week, and please send in your D's and Q's, and check out Instagram for any other things that you want to see. So cool. See you guys. Tapping out. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.